Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Farm. Thinking right out here in my lab, in the book, talking about pyramids. I got a nice little thing going, so this is the next lesson, so it's going to be fun. We're going to learn now about the alignment and the measurements of the pyramid. For those who are interested, a lot of y'all ain't going to deal with it, so that ain't my question, that ain't my point. I'm teaching a philosophy and a concept that somebody cares about, mainly me. Pyramid, get it? So let's go. Rightisms, 25 rooted there by storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in to receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to, know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I ask the question: do you know you? You will when I'm through. That's what I do. But it's rhetorical, and if you don't have it for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm your spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and to Maya be true. I committed a teaching faux pas. I'm teaching pyramid knowledge and got on a damn Kango hat. Get out of that nonsense. I had to put my Lodge of Perfection hat on. This will really perfect the man knowing himself in the triangle form. Another lesson. But right now, let's go. This is my teaching hat. And tell you, remember we had the dunce hat? Well, this is the teacher's hat. We don't do dunce around here. I gave you the breakdown of the pyramid. We're going to talk about right thinkers, the numbers, the alignment, and the measurements of the Great Pyramid. This ought to be fun if you're into pyramids. If not, it won't interest you at all. So let's go. All right. The Paris Observatory is one of the most perfectly aligned structures in modern times, right? And it is aligned 6 minutes off true north. Okay, 6 minutes. Pay attention. How is it possible that slaves or primitive workers can accomplish a feat thousands of years ago, which with skilled technicians would have difficulty duplicating today? We got all the modern machines, we got all that. We didn't have none of that. Okay, so that's the difference. And you can't make a slave give you perfect work. Work, yeah, labor, yeah, but not perfect. Different. So get that concept. Now I just asked all the misunderstanding, misinterpretation. I just gave you that breakdown. Let's talk about the measurements and magnificence of this pyramid thing. All right. The question has not been answered, so it is pretty much ignored. But moving on. The pyramid's precise alignment to true north is a confirmation that the builders of it possess a working knowledge of geography, astronomy, geodesics, and vast mathematics, okay, which is all essential to the development of any nation. And from the earliest of times, the inhabitants of the Nile Valley civilization had a continuously survey and reestablish the agricultural boundaries. Why? That was washed away when the annual flooding of the Nile. So the markers would be everything would flood out. They got to start all over again new. So they had no problem. They understood that. They worked with nature. What's this? That's what the best part about it. With the annual flooding of the Nile. But the designation of national and domestic boundaries, construction of temples and the undertaking of trade and commerce were all required of a working knowledge of geography and geodesy. Geodesy, Geodesy. I'm going to break down the three things that I just told you about: astronomy, geography, and geodesy, and mathematics. Right here. Astronomy, the definition. Stop teaching and read. All right, astronomy. Right here says studying the science remains the arrangement and distribution. The science which deals with what? The heavenly bodies, fixed stars, planets, satellites, and comets, their nature, distribution, magnitudes, motions, distances, periods of revolutions. They can predict eclipse, etc. So they study the heavens. They got that figured out. Hence the zodiac. All right. Geography. G-E spells means the earth. So anything that G means earth. Graphian means to write. So this is the descriptive science dealing with the surface of the earth. Its various divisions into what? Continents, countries, states, and cities. That's geography. Breaking everything down. Okay, moving down. We had all that mastered back then. Geodesy. That means geodesia, which is the art of measuration. G of the earth. And Dian is to divide. So that part of the applied mathematics, which has for the object the determination of the magnitude and figure either of the whole earth or of a large portion of its surface, or the locating exactly of points on the surface. They knew the landmass and they put the pyramid directly in the middle. And it's in what? Giza in Africa. Webster's new 20th century dictionary, he defines the working with knowledge of what? Astronomy, geometry, geodesy, the science, and the engineers of the Nile Valley were all able to establish a perfectly aligned meridian of 30 degrees latitude, which, damn, you get the latitude and the equinox, you lose me. I ain't geography with that, but I break it down and read it to you best I can. But that's a little out my area, but they got it here so I can put it to you. But breaking it down, no, I ain't gonna do that. We're gonna read it and move on. I'm gonna elaborate on that one. All right, I was gonna let you know ahead of time. But the degrees latitude, which exceeds what they call a distance of over 2,000 miles, and it extended from the Mediterranean Sea to the equator. I know the equator is the midway. Okay, the belt. I got to understand that to a degree. Like I said, I did my geography, just one of my favorite classes. I didn't fail it, but it wasn't one of my favorites. That's all. All right. So we got that understood. They knew the boundaries. They understand reading the stars. They had all that already figured out. So today, the basis of geography is a system of latitude and longitude. Okay, used to measure what? The size of our planet, okay, and to chart its surface with supreme accuracy. Most people think, what's this, that with this invention is the modern world because it requires a working knowledge of a higher form of mathematics, such as spherical trigonometry. However, we find this exact knowledge incorporated into the interior and the exterior measurements of the Great Pyramid. You see where I'm going with this? Now I'm going to start reading. This is what the pyramid looks like. It ain't just a big ball of bricks stacked on top of each other. There's stuff going on inside there. Okay, observations, king and queen chamber, purpose. But my man said it best. I know one guy, he put it to you. Something was going on up in there. We know that for a fact. They were doing something up in there. Moving on, that ain't my job, so I ain't going that area. Again, thing I ain't professional, I leave alone, leave that. But I thought it was how you can look at that from the outside, you don't know what's going on the inside. So that's the inside look. They had the brain figured out. So they got the heavens figured out. Ain't nothing new. Okay, so we can get back to the lesson, wrap this up. Oh, I'm good. I'm only halfway done. Where we at? The Measure Great Pyramids. Okay. when they take the measurements of this thing, it's going to tell them a whole lot of stuff about this planet. How could that be? Hold on, excuse me. Yeah, sorry about that. But let's talk about the parameters and the numbers. Listen to this. Listen to this. The pyramid parameter is the sum of its base. The length is 3,022 feet, which is precisely equal to what? 1/2 minute of a degree of the latitude at the equator. Okay, they knew that. And what's this? Which is precisely equal to what? Okay, the equator. And 143 thousandths and 200th of the polar circumference of the Earth. That's the distance that they just circumscribe the Earth. That compass thing is a bad thing. And what? A measurement of the pyramid parameter including the outermost sockets upon which it rests, which incidentally are recessed 8 inches below the surface, and it yields a length of 3,043.8 feet, which is precisely equal to 1/2 minute of the degree of the latitude at the equator, or 143,200th of a meter of the equator circumference of the Earth. Those numbers don't just actually happen. They knew that. That's the one I'm going to show you. And what's this? The entire pyramid rests on a platform which is more than 755 feet in length and level to within what? 4/5 of an inch. That's real small, okay? And the height of the pyramid, plus you have the height of its base platform, equals 482,751 feet. And that's equal to what? To the 143,200 feet of polar radius of the Earth. They got all that from the building. They knew that they built it. They put it into the building to teach us right now. We learning right now. I'm loving that. All right. But the radius of the Earth, or the distance from what? The center of the Earth to North Pole. They knew the exact distance. And it should be noted here, watch this, that the repetition of the formula, which is 1.43.200, is the what? 3 measurements is intentionally, and it relates to the size and the shape of this Earth. There is 360 degrees in a circle, right? Okay, 60 minutes in an hour, right? In a degree, which is 1/2 minute of 1 minute. Simply put, 360, the circumference is 360 circle, times what? 60, times what? 2, that equals 43/200 of 1,000. And these 3 basic measurements of the pyramid are all on the same scale and represents what? The 3 essential geodesic values of our planet. They knew the circumference of the Earth, and they're in Africa. With a precision matched only with what? Contemporary satellite or space shuttle surveys. Man can't precise that numbers, okay? Man can't articulate them. Why? They are there to set. That's what man's judging it by. That's how he got them. He didn't make them up. He didn't manufacture them. He was given to him. And these measurements, watch this. These measurements, in addition to other geographic facts about this Great Pyramid, its placement at the center of the Earth's landmass. You tell me a bunch of pagans, a bunch of illiterate people did this with slave labor? Are you kidding me? Again, I forget my thing. Crooked as all get. I'm wondering, am I looking like I'm tilted? No. Sorry about that. Sorry to get back to the lesson. All right. But this is its position is at the apex of the Nile Delta Valley, and its orientation to the what? Cardinal points of the compass, and all support the idea that whoever built the Great Pyramid knew what the hell they was doing. They knew the precise circumference of the planet and was aware of the flattening of the poles at the equator's bridge. They allowed for that also. Y'all call it the wobble. They knew that then. Okay, this knowledge was not rediscovered after 4,000 years ago until what? The 18th century ACE. We in the 21st century now, so about 3,000 years ago, they rediscovered that formula. And what's this? The fact that the Great Pyramid was engineered with accuracy and measured to the hundredth of the inch is a testimonial to the what? The builders. Having precise and advanced knowledge of mathematics, movement of the stars, the site, another example. Why? Because the pyramid height relates to what? The perimeter. The perimeter as the radius of a circle does as to what? Circumference, dividing what? The perimeter of the pyramid base by twice the height, and it will yield, you ready? 3,014.28, which is a work which approximately what? Approximation of pi, and often used by contemporary engineers and modern day construction designers. The area of the face of the Great Pyramid is also the same square of the vertical height. That's the square of the vertical height is also the same as what? Half of the pyramid. So that means what? The base, the width, times the slant of the height. This fact indicates what? That the pyramid design is in accordance with pi, 1.618. And it's also called, you ever heard this? The golden number, or what they call the golden ratio. My man does it all the time. The guy, I can't think of his name, but he's sharp. He good with it. He knows his stuff. But you got math. I'm going to stop right there. Okay. Yeah, golden. Because I want to show you the break down the inside of the pyramid for the next few minutes. I'll go to the next one. All this down here tell you what these little things are about. I'm going to tell you right quick. All right. And this is what amazes me. They got all those stones, 2.5 million blocks of stone stacked on top of each other. Okay, that's a feat in itself. But now they got tunnels underground, chambers all up in there, made with different bricks, different stones. I'm going to break that down. The first one I'm going to show you, number one, to get in the entrance. The original entrance was blocked off. Okay, limestone covered it up. So my man, Mamoon Abdul, he broke in there. Al-Mamoon, first entrance. That's the second one, okay? That's right down here. See, they gained entry from right here. And once he came in, he hit the main passageway by accident, stumbled around right there. But he didn't know it. He wasn't too far off right there. And so from then, they went all around, found out, where's the treasure? Where's the body? Where's the pharaoh? They're looking for gold. They heard the stories. They thought it was a tomb. In a damn tomb. Again. All right, let me finish this up right quick. I'll see you in time. I got another minute and a half. All right, but number 3 is the ascending passageway that they hit, okay? Number 4 is the spinoff going to the Queen's Chamber. Number 5, the actually Queen's Chamber. There's something going on in there, okay? She had an observation deck on hers. Number 6 was the Grand Gallery, which is what? The big opening, big slot right here. Man, if I had the blue screen, I'd be doing work right now. I got to do the best I could what I got. This is the Grand Gallery, leading up from the Queen's Chamber. That's the King's Chamber. This is the entranceway, the passageway. We up at 4-6 now. You're going to see, I think 7 and 8 is there. And over here, this is the limestone coating, and this is the original. So it's about 12 things. Let me run by right quick and get out of here. I'll be right back. But you got the Queen's Chamber, number 5. The Grand Gallery, number 6. The King's Chamber, number 7. And that's with granite. The hardest thing to chisel out. But they got the whole thing up in there built with granite sheets, okay, for what? Sound resonance. Observation shafts was number 8, okay? On both sides, you got 2 observation shafts. One in the northern sky, one in the southern sky. Hold on one second, dog. All right? And you got number 9, which is this descending passageway coming back down. Where's number 9 at? Okay, eight. Okay, yeah, going down. They got a chamber that went underground. Okay, forgot about that. Number nine takes you down here. From here, look at it. They underground. They got stuff underground. Number 10 is right here. 11 and 12 right there. Wrap it up for you. Boy, this is information. I've enjoyed doing this. It's fun. And you got the underground chamber. You got the limestone covering, what they stole and built the whole city out of. And then number 12, you got the current outer casing. That's what we see today. The rough edge, but it made it easy for us to what? Climb up, to get up and down it. With the limestone, we couldn't do that. So another lesson about the pyramids. My favorite conversation. I'll be back with some more, but right now I got to go. And in closing, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100 miles a day. So I've known about right thinkers who interested in learning more about the pyramids have passed away. I'll be back with more for you.